Hey everyone, welcome back to my astrology channel. Today we're going to talk about Saturn in your 12th house. All right, let's get started. So what is Saturn? Saturn is a karmic planet. Saturn wants to make sure you do the right things, okay? Anything that you've brought from your past life that you have not paid the punishment for, you're going to get punished in this lifetime. So make sure you do the right thing in this life so you don't get punished for it in this life and also in the next life. So what is Saturn? Saturn is delay. It's patience, lots of patience. It's hard work. Saturn can cause anxiety, obstructions. Saturn is a fair elderly judge who walks with a limp. So Saturn wants you to be fair. Do not judge people harshly or wrongly. Saturn wants you to respect the elderly and respect the disabled people. Saturn is also wanting to make sure you don't take any shortcuts. Okay, you don't deceive people or you get punished. Okay, let's talk about house number 12 now. What is house number 12? So house number 12 is isolation. House number 12 is detachment. It could be jail. It's hospitals. House 12 is it's meditation, introspection. It is also your expenditures, etc. And it's your foreign settlement, which means settling away from home. Maybe you want to go away from your homeland. That's also seen from house 12. So house 12 sitting here, Saturn sitting here in house 12 can give you that want and desire to move away from the homeland, not necessarily from your parents, but like homeland. And Saturn will cause delay here. And Saturn matures at the age of 36. So if by any chance you end up going abroad or away from home before that age, you may come back. You may not be able to settle well away. You could have issues in that sense, okay? So Saturn is going to give you those issues. You're going to have patience when it comes to your desires of perhaps going away from the homeland to settle. But like I said, Saturn is not a no, it is a delay. So when Saturn sits in that house, it could cause an enormous delay, but it would not be a no. Saturn does not say no. It just causes delay. It wants you to have patience, have discipline, have the perseverance to continue doing the things that you want to do in that house. Keep looking forward for it. So let's talk about, and it could be in any other aspect. So this is one of the aspects of house 12. It could be maybe you want to work at a hospital. Maybe you want to be a doctor. It could cause delay to that a little bit. Perhaps you want to meditate. You're not able to do that. Maybe your expenses, you want to control your expenses, but you're not able to control your expenses. And it could cause a delay in that. Your expenses just go completely out of your hand. It may cause uncontrollable expenses on anything, on just things that are beyond your control. And so let's talk about its aspects now. From the 12th house, the first aspect it causes is on house 2. House 2 is your family, the family you grew up in, family that raised you. It's your values, your traditions. It's your initial learning that you're learning. It is your speech. It is also your throat. It is also your mouth, the things that you take in from your mouth. It's your face, all of that stuff. So Saturn sitting in that house could cause you issues with your family, okay? Things could come about with one member of the family or the second or the third, but it could cause you issues with that family. Keep in mind, that's not just your mom and dad. It's your mom and dad, your brother, sister that you grew up with, maybe your extended family that you grew up with, anybody that you grew up with, it could cause you issues with that. That could be related to maybe your speech could be harsh with them. Theirs could be harsh with you because it's also your mouth, your throat. It could maybe, you may have eating disorders. You may not be eating things properly because it's your mouth too. It's also your face. Maybe it could cause a mark or something on your face. It could cause an issue. Remember, that third aspect is where you have to show courage regardless of whether that house is good or not. So even if your family is not good, you still have to show the courage and say it's good. And you have to work hard to maintain that good family. Let's talk about the 7th aspect. Okay, the 7th aspect of Saturn sitting in the 12th house is on the 6th house. What is the 6th house? 6th house is a house of pain, debt, disease, court cases, litigations, enemies, competition, and also your daily service, your job. So Saturn sitting there could really impact that house. So what I say is when Saturn is sitting in 12th house, you got to be fair with that 7th aspect. You've got to treat them with fairness and discipline. So for instance, if you don't treat your job fairly, if you take shortcuts in your job, it is going to come back and bite you. You may lose that job. If you don't eat food properly, if you take something in from your mouth because you have that 2nd house aspect, now that could cause you pain in your stomach. 6th house is also lower part of your stomach, below the belly button. So it could cause you pain with your stomach, with your lower part of the area. It is also your debt. You may go into a lot of debt if you don't control your expenses. Not be under your control. It may be from a past life debt that you have to pay off. Lots of conditions here. Definitely check the sign placement of Saturn in addition to the house placement in my videos if you want to learn more. So those are the things you can get. Debt, pain. You could get disease. You may end up going to the hospital because you have the Saturn there in your 12th house. So I would really watch out for what you're eating, what you're putting in your mouth, how you're dealing with your family, those kind of things. And like I said, sometimes things are just out of your control based on your past life karma or based on what you've done in this life too, Now let's talk about the last aspect. The last aspect of Saturn is on your 9th house. 9th house is your father's house. It's your gurus, your teachers, your long distance travel. It is your spirituality. It's also your dharma, your religion. And it's also your thighs, okay? So when Saturn is sitting here in 12th house, it's placing that aspect. It wants you to lift that house up, okay? Perhaps it wants to make sure that you continue to follow your religion properly, or what makes you, I guess, your spirituality. If you're in spirituality, it wants you to make sure you stay spiritual. You stay a good dharmic person, good righteous person, I guess is the word I was looking for. So Saturn wants to make sure you keep lifting that up. You keep lifting the dharmicness, the good righteousness inside you, and perhaps lift up the society with it. Continue to lift up your father, your gurus, your teachers. Always give respect to them. So Saturn is an elderly planet, like I said. It wants you to give respect to the elderly. So maybe you might do some foreign travel and do the spirituality, do the righteous things in your teachings. It's also higher learning, higher studies, and teachings too. You could teach the world your teaching. So that's an aspect where it wants you to lift up, and you could get your internal fame, your internal happiness, your internal status. It wants you to lift that up, that part of your horoscope, the house number 9. So if you guys have this placement, go ahead and write it in the comments and tell us what your observations are. And we do provide horoscope consultations, so please go ahead and click on the link in the video description. And also, as always, don't forget to hit like, share, subscribe, and don't forget to hit the bell icon so you don't miss out on any of our future updates. Thank you so much, and thank you for watching.